right, gang. So, we're looking at our anesthesia machine right here, correct? What is our A? What kind of vaporizer?
Precision.
Right. What is in this vaporizer? How can we tell that?
Purple.
Purple. If we had sevoflurane in this machine, what color would it be?
Yellow.
Correct. Okay. When I am filling my vaporizer, is there a fill line in here?
Yes.
Yes. I want to be at the fill line, correct?
Yes.
Correct. When I am filling my chamber with the liquid anesthesia, which way am I turning to open? Left. Turning left, correct? I'm turning my left, my chamber. I'm adding my liquid, correct? And then I'm turning right to tighten. Can I over tighten this?
Yes.
Yes.
This?
No.
No. You can't over tighten this enough, okay? We don't want any leaking into the environment. Why? It's pollution, right? Okay, what's our B? It's our flow meter. What is it measuring? Oxygen, correct. When we are calculating our induction for oxygen, what is our calculation?
Weight times 10
times 6.
Times 10 times 6. That is for induction. For maintenance, we are weight in what?
kilograms.
Yes, in kilograms times 10 times 3. Correct? Okay. This is our flow meter. Do we want to be careful with our knob to turn it?
Yes.
Yes, because what can happen? You can strip it correctly. Then our ball is going to move around and jumble around. It's not going to settle on where we need to be. Okay? C.
Pressure.
That is our pressure gauge. If we have a full tank, what is it going to read at? 2200 what?
PSI.
Correct. When am I in the danger zone when I need to change my tank?
500.
Correct. Okay. D. What's D? That's the nanometer, right? This is going to directly measure the pressure that's in our reservoir bag, okay?
It's manometer.
Nanometer. N-A-M. Okay, N-A-N-O-M-E-T-E-R. Nanometer. I will tell you guys too, if you guys go to Quizlet, awesome breakdown of the anesthesia machine, okay? So that's our nanometer. What is F?
There's the bag.
Down here.
Reservoir bag.
This is our reservoir bag. How do we calculate what size bag to use?
Times 9 times 30.
Times 10 times 6. Yes, that's going to determine our bag size. When we determine the bag size, what's another consideration that we should make?
Going 3 sizes up.
Going one size up.
Size.
Yes, always have one size larger bag when you're determining your bag. So if I am picking a 2-liter bag, I always want to have a 3-liter bag ready also, correct? Correct. Okay. What's G?
Inhalation.
Here's G right here.
Inhalation.
Right, this is our inhalation tube. And then what is H?
Exhalation.
And that's our exhalation tube. So it's going in, going out, okay? What is I?
Scavenger can.
Right, scavenger canister or F-air canister, either one is fine. How do I know when this is done?
The number of hours logged.
The number of hours logged. As you can see on this canister, they have the date on this one, and they have different times that the canister was used. Once I hit about 8 to 12 hours, this canister is no longer in use, and we need to get a new one, correct? Okay. Then what is J?
The scavenger hose.
Right here, right? This is our scavenger hose, correct? Now, in our hospitals, we can have a scavenger going through either here to a canister, oh, fell off my machine, or where else?
Going out to the
Hospital.
ventilation system.
Ventilation system in the hospital. They might have their own in-house scavenging system, correct? K,
Oxygen tank.
the oxygen tank right here. What size tank is this?
E.
E tank, correct. What are our large tanks called?
F.
H.
H tanks, correct. Now, we talked a little bit about our tanks, right? What is this area right here called?
The yolk.
The yolk. If I want to remove my oxygen, if I am less than 500 psi's, I need to move my oxygen tank over to here. Or I need to open this oxygen tank. I need to add a new tank here. So what I would do is take off my tank slowly, right? Do I handle these with care?
Yes.
Why?
Okay, so
Right. So handle it gently. There's going to be 3 holes right here. 1 big hole, 2 small holes. They are going to line up with the holes on your anesthesia machine, all right? You're going to gently, can you see them? Okay. You're going to gently just slide your E-tank up, like that, until you feel it slide into those holes, okay? Once you do that, it's, which way?
right.
Righty tighty, right? And tighten our tank onto the machine. If I want to check and make sure that machine is properly, my tank is properly hooked up, I'm going to turn my oxygen on, correct? And the same thing. It's going to be righty tighty, lefty loosey. Obviously, in this machine, we have a leak, but that's what it will do. Okay? So that way you can turn your oxygen on and off. Okay, so we are at L. What is our L? Right. This is our O2 flush right here. If I am using a non-rebreathing system on an animal under what size?
5
Five.
pounds.
Or how many kilograms? Well, now it's under how many kilograms? 7, right? Under 7 kilograms, they're going to be hooked up to the non-rebreathing system. Do I want to ever use the O2 flush button?
No.
Never. Why?
You can inflate that.
You'll inflate their lungs correctly. Okay. M. What's M?
Tip up.
It's our pop-off valve. Righty tighty, right? Lefty loosey. I can, what do we always have our pop-off valve what?
Open, closed.
Open. Open. Always open, okay? We do close it if we need to give our patient a nice breath, right? But we always want to remember that we need to reopen. Correct. If we've accidentally kept this shut and our bag blew up and up and up and up, what's happening to our patient's lungs?
It's inflated.
They're inflating. So what can I do in that emergency situation? Right, you're going to hit the emergency switch right here. And that is going to bypass your pop-off and allow you, it to escape your bag, right? Okay. What's O? What is this O doing?
Pushing oxygen into vapor. Oxygen to
Yeah, right, it's pushing your oxygen to your vaporizer. Okay? And then what's P?
It's
And
mixture
then
mixture to that
mixture
patient.
to the rest of the machine.
Right, that's taking your, it's mixing your O2 with your liquid, turning it into vapor, right? And taking it to the patient. What is R here?
Breathing in.
Mask.
Anesthesia mask.
That's our breathing mask. Our breathing mask can easily hook to our tubes. And what is this called, guys, right here?
That's it.
Do you remember?
What?
That's our connecting, our Y connector, okay? And that is gonna hook to the mask. You're gonna be able to put it on the patient, and the patient's gonna be able to either inhale just pure oxygen or mixture, depending on what you need to do. And then what is S? Liquid isoflurane. And it obviously turns into what in our machine?
Yes.
Vapor.
Vapor, right. Okay, so for the checklist that I gave you, and you guys need to know this, because this will be part of it, is number 1, you want to check all your oxygen levels before you start operating your machine, correct? So what are we looking for on our machine? What are we looking for here?
The pressure. 500.
Above
Yeah,
500 PSI.
Right, we're looking to make sure this is above 500 PSIs, right? If it's below, we need to change our tank, right? Nelson, can you bring me over the other machine? Because I want to show you on that machine how to hold the pressure. Okay. This machine is working, so we're going to turn this one on. So this is tight. Stace, do you know where the thing is to turn the oxygen on this one? Or do I just turn my... Oh, there it is. Thank you. Okay, so I'm just going to turn the oxygen on real quick, gang. Okay, my oxygen should be on. There we go. Okay. All right, so we're checking the oxygen on our tank. We're checking our tank to make sure. This is a great gauge because look, see the difference here? This tank is telling us right now that we are in the full level right here. And actually we'll read down to 3/4, 1/2, and then it'll actually tell you refill in the zone of 500 or less, okay? So that's great. So then we want to check our vaporizer level. So we want to look where? Where are we looking? We're looking right here, correct? See this big dot here? Same thing. And that's your oxygen fill level right there. That's going to tell us how much is in our vaporizer. And it's going to say refill at the bottom of the dot. This machine's great. Self-explanatory. Right here is our reservoir to put our liquid in this machine, okay? So we're going to check that. We're going to make sure all our gas lines are correctly connected. So in this machine, I'm going to put them together. When they're talking about gas lines, we're talking about what? We're making sure all of these tubing lines right here to our O2 flush, our oxygen going to our vaporizer, and then our mixture going out to our patient. Everything's hooked correctly, okay? We want to make sure our scavenge is properly connected. We want to make sure this tube is on tightly. We want to make sure we're attached to a canister if we're not in a building where there's a whole system throughout the hospital. We want to make sure that's connected. So same with this machine. We're making sure, see that was loose. We want to make sure everything's nice and tight. Make sure we're connected to a canister. We want to check our canister, correct? We want to make sure we have enough time on our canister for the procedure that we're going to be doing. If we're doing a lengthy surgery, we might have to change this, okay? We might not have enough time on our canister, so always check your times on your canister. So we check the total amount used. We want to check our soda lime color, right? Our soda lime's either in here or in here. And I love this machine right here because it says soda absorb change, and it'll give us a date and a time. You should do that every time you change your soda lime, okay? So that whoever's using the machine next knows when we started. And that kind of gives us a little bit of an idea. Usually, what did I say? How often are we changing our soda lime? About every what? 2 weeks, right? Depending on how many procedures we do. So you're always checking the color. What color is going to tell me that I need to start changing my soda lime? Purple, correct. Okay. The cuff puff is basically you're just checking these tubes. You're making sure your Y connector is connected properly. Your inspiratory and expiratory hoses are on tightly on both ends, on the patient end and the machine end, okay? Then we want to check for leaks. And this is how we usually check for leaks. I'll do it on this machine. Do we have a bag on this machine? Where am I? Stacey, where is my? Oh, here we go. It's in here. There's a couple bags there. Thank you. So my bag's going here. And then my hoses are going to go here. Alright, so my hoses are on, right? Here's my bag. So what you do is you're going to place your thumb, okay? you're gonna include the patient end of the circuit right here. And you're gonna turn your flow meter on. So we're just gonna gently put it at 1, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is, I'm just looking for the oxygen flush valve on this. Oh, here's my flush valve. I'm gonna blow up my bag. Oh, and I'm not holding a very good seal, sorry. What should happen is, if you hold it tightly, see my bag's staying. It's holding its seal, correct? Okay, it's not going down. Look at on my flow meter. If you look on my flow meter, where is it staying at?
1.
It's staying at 1, correct. So as long as your pressure isn't decreasing on your flow meter and your bag is not going down, you're holding air. So you should not have any leaks at this point. As soon as I let this go, you're going to start to see my bag's going to start to go down. The flow meter's not really going down too much, but my bag will go down. It started to bobble a little bit there, but that's how you can tell if you have a leak in the system. It's not going to hold pressure in your bag. There's going to be a leak somewhere, okay? So you always want to check that before you start. So that's that part, and make sure we gently just turn till it hits 0. Okay? And then that's it as far as checking the machines. Never want to crank down on this, okay? You always want to be gentle. This has the bipod, okay. So what I would suggest, we're going to wrap up in a couple minutes. I'm going to let you go a little bit early today, but if you haven't intubated that dog, you need to do that today a couple times. And I would review the machines because I might not necessarily use this machine. I could be using this machine on the practical, okay? So it could be either or. So you need to know it inside out no matter what type of machine it is. You need to know where, A to B and B to C, okay?